All right. Can you hear me now? What's up, fight fans? And we are back with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where do all fights start? Round one.
Round one.
Getting situated here, getting everything back in order. Just getting back from Border Awards 17. And I wanted to just talk about it. I want to try to get out of my head here. You know what I mean? And you know, talk about everything that happened and everything that took place in the event. And I just want to share that with you guys. Now it's just gonna be me and you guys. And salute. Let's talk about it. What's up, Flores? How you doing? What's up? Good to have you. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to hit that like button. And um I've been back now for a couple days and still nursing this ankle and shit. It's still a little swollen, but uh, m- m- the one thing that's a little tough is not bringing home the victory. You know, uh, I really gave this, you know, uh, a valiant effort, man. You know, I I trained to win in the situation that I was in. I'm not making any excuses. Uh, I lost. And when they announced his name as the winner, uh, my sportsmanship still. I took the belt and I put it around his waist. You know, I didn't dispute it, even though I felt like I won in the moment. I was like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? But before we get into the fight and we talk about the fight and everything and about how I feel after the fight, I just want to share with you guys the entire event, what it took to get there. Uh, this was something that I said I would do. I want to actually like go through my videos and stuff, but this shit is tough, the editing and everything and putting up videos and remember exactly what everything was and here was my challenge. I accepted a boxing match. I had a little over 2 months, 2 months and like 10 days or whatever to prepare for it. And I started to make the transformation. You know, and when you walk in the gym, and you're asking for help, or they're like this 51-year-old guy comes into the gym. Not a lot of people want to take you serious. They just think you're another content creator trying to box and say some play. You want to play a tough guy's role, right? Uh, I knew a couple Puerto Rican content creators that just went in there and mixed it up a few months back. Um, I'm not really familiar, even though I'm Puerto Rican. I'm really not familiar with them at all. I'm not that type of Puerto Rican dude. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow like that. Uh, but I saw their fight, and I think I did better than that. You know, uh, so I saw a couple content creators, fighters, fights and stuff. I saw this Island Boy kid fight Charles White or whatever. That was funny. I saw some of these guys, and I'm anything but that. I'm anything but that entertainment. You know, um, I'm a fighter, and I hope I was able to show that in the little bit of time I was given. And the difference between someone going out there trying to impress their girlfriend and someone that actually went out there and was serious about it and that actually had a little bit of skills that said, no, I boxed before in the past. I think I can do it again. and at least showed some kind of remnants of what they once were. You know, when Floyd went in the ring in his exhibitions, he didn't look like Floyd Mayweather, but you can see it. You can see it, you know. Um and 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 although you guys never seen me box, I hope I was able to show and present a good account of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I talk about this all the time. Sometimes we think we're a ninja up here, but down here, unless you train, you're not gonna perform well. And when they go roll the clip and they show you fighting, and you got them guys, they all out of all over the place and wild and sloppy. I I I wanted to look like what I talked about, but I'm still 51 years old. You know, I think that is the one thing in my head I can't get over myself. It's the one thing in my head uh, that I'm real hard on myself. I'm critical on myself, on my performance, how I did. I'm like real down on myself right now because I feel like I could have fought better. I feel like I could have did more in the ring and stuff. But I had a choice to make, with what I had, you know. To tell you the truth, in my situation, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to get to the gym, and I fucked up. Yeah. It took me a while to uh really like embrace the boxer's code. Like sometimes as men, just because we experience something, we think we can self-train ourselves. We just know that we're tough as men, that you're gonna have to do a lot of things. And then when you go in there and spar and you feel your body turn on yourself, your body, the guy hits you twice, boom, boom, and it drains you. And he grabs you and it drains you. In 10 seconds of throwing punches, like 5 punches, you're drained. Now, you're no longer the killer or the ninja you thought you was 30 seconds ago. Now you're looking for a way out. Once I experienced that and I was reminded the harsh reality of boxing, you can't play boxing. You have all the will and all the courage to want to fight. I get it. I do too. But without proper training, you're doomed. They're going to make you look bad. So, in the 2 months that I was preparing, the first month I was preparing, I was getting sore because a lot of this was new to me again. So by the time the second month came around, I had like 3 weeks. I started learning a little something, but before I knew it, it was the day of the fight. My coach was afraid, and truth be told, I really never made it out of sparring. I never really closed out the third round in sparring. Nah, just I jogged, I pushed myself, man. I jumped rope, bro. I was trying to train 2 and 3 times a day. You know, they could have been some things I could have done a lot better, a lot smarter. Yes, absolutely. Um, I could have went to the gym more. Yes, I could have. Uh, and boxing it boxing smacked me in the face. It smacked my ego in the face. I don't care who you thought you once was, Edwin, or how many people you done beat up or knocked out, Edwin. It's who you are today. I can't win this fight with my reputation that I had 20 years ago. I can't win this fight, and this guy is not scared of me. He doesn't live where I live. He doesn't know who I was in the street. He don't know anything about me. So my reputation is not helping me. The only thing that's going to win this fight for you is you're going to have to train. And I did. I did just that. I although 2 months and 10 days, I don't think I could have got all the training I wanted in there, man. But listen, I got a lot of bad habits in life. I've been through a lot of things in my life. We all have bad habits, and smoking is one of my bad habits. I've been told by my family, you got children, you should stop smoking. You'll your life last. That never got me to stop smoking. What got me to stop smoking was the fact that I wanted to fight. And I did. It was like one of the hardest things, but the fear of losing in the ring was worse. I finally found something that I was like, yeah, I'll give this up for that. I don't know why, but I guess I love it more than that. And then the other fear at my age, if somebody punches you in the face, are you just gonna go down? How's your punch resistance against like another dude? Like if this dude hits you, like, and I had to get used to that shit, getting punched in the face. Shit, I went into the fight with a black eye. I wasn't fucking around. I was in there slugging it out in sparring with my last guy, at least. I only got the 2 sparrings, but it taught me a lot. Yo, 2 or 3 more sparring matches, just 2 or 3 more sparring matches. I swear to God, I probably would have had the gas tank and the ability and the timing to judge him to go up and downstairs, right? Uh, let me tell you, this motherfucker got some shit in his shoes or some shit, right? Because when we met, I was that much taller than him or whatever. But when we got in the ring, he was this shorter. I was like, damn, you even got shorter, you know? So he was going like dipping down, you know? Uh and the like the fact that you never went to 3 rounds actually in like sparring or nothing, and you're trying to convince yourself, yo, we're gonna go to 3 rounds. What's gonna happen, is that thing gonna happen to you that happened in sparring where all your energy and everything came, and you knew you had nothing left, and your arms were spaghetti, and your heart was beating out of your chest, and you knew this guy was fresh and he still was gonna come over and punch you. So you were gonna take punishment. You knew that you were tired and you were exhausted. You were gonna have to fake. You know what I'm saying? In that second round, man, they were like, and the Academy Award goes to me faking like I wasn't tired, right? Because man, but I didn't let him know that. I greeted him with a 1-2. Here you go. Nope, not tired. Nope. His coach kept yelling at him. Round one's gonna fold. Look at him. He's exhausted. He's exhausted. And I came out. Nope. Here you go. Hold that. Right. And then when they awarded him the bullshit knockout and the standing thing, right? I uh I remember. I don't. I gotta go back and look at it again. Like, right. But I remember, like, I fought stronger, like harder, when I was supposed to be at my most exhausted. I I, I just remember, just let's go, because in that moment I was truly presented with only 2 options: quit or fight. That was it. Yo, boxing is not a sport where I could tag somebody in. I couldn't pass the ball. Nothing. I couldn't be like, yo, coach, sub. Nope. Fucking Marcos was, I don't know what the hell he was saying. It was like the room was just going shoosh, like in, and it was just like, right? My hands were on the rope. My head was down. And it was like, give your ops the opponent to see you quit. prove to them you're everything they said you were. Go ahead, like, and and it wasn't like I was looking for a way out of the fight. Like I was like saying, "Fuck, I'm gonna just get beat up." No, I decided not only was I not gonna quit, but I was also gonna try to win. I wasn't scared. I wasn't like, oh fuck, I'm exhausted. Yeah, I was there. Yeah. I was at the point where I was exhausted and everything. And I wanted to be somewhere else for a split second. And then I realized I didn't want to be anywhere else but here. And I had decided that, yeah, so what? I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Yep. My heart's pumping out of my chest. Yep. I feel a little weak. Yeah, but I could feel all that shit tomorrow. I decided, I said, fuck it. Come beat me up if you can. Come on. And then when he hit me and everything, let me tell you something between me and you guys. My sparring partners hit harder than that. Yo, he hit me with his best shots. It was like, boom, my punch resistance to a punch for 51. I think it was pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I never really caught him flush, right? I never really, because I didn't really believe in that kind of punch. Those punches I was throwing, those were my natural calm punches. A lot of people said you were still punching strong and hard, but that's just me at a normal rate. If I had a good gas tank and I was allowed to punch, bro, I think I would have punched his head off his shoulders, because what I was just hitting him with was like 45% of my power. That's all I hit him with. I would have gassed out. One or two exchanges of power punches from me, I would have been standing there like this, and he would have beat the shit out of me. So what you saw was, like, a lot of people say, yo, you look strong, you were punching strong, everything. But that was truly me just trying to just touch him. And sometimes I got caught in the moment and just like, and then flip back and was like, yo, you need to bring that back quick. Because what I was thinking was 1, 2, check, hook, snap, right? Like that. But when I threw the 1, 2 like this, and he would like come up, right? He had like this funny movement where he would swing like real like this way. So the uppercut was there, like I said, Ness was yelling it. Everybody in the building knew that the uppercut now, and it made me hesitate to throw it. So I was like, but that's what I decided to do. That's what I decided to do. I was just like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna meet him at the front door, like that. It sucks fighting like that, where that you're thinking about your gas tank. You know what I mean? And it's not really letting you fight the way you would like to fight. You know, um, and then not having my coach in the corner to keep me calm, to tell me instructions. Like, if I had a coach in my corner in the third round, my coach could have told me, yo, Ed, either you're winning the fight 1-1, what to do in that situation. I was on my own. Marcos, I didn't hear him because I don't know that guy. I don't believe in anything he was going to say to me anyway. He was just there to look like I had a coach in my corner. That was it. But I didn't hear him at all. All of that, he tried to drown me with the fucking water. You know what I mean? He waterboarded me in the fucking corner for information. You know, fucking Marcos. Yo, that was crazy, bro. That shit came up. Yo, go watch in the corner, man. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even swallow the water. I was exhausted. I truly was exhausted. Um, but OC the boss brought me to a dark place, and it made me ask myself, yo, oh man, you still got it? You think you still got it? Are you all talk? How many men have been in that situation in their life They said I had enough. They check out. I had enough. I'm good. I don't need to throw up and get beat up in front of you guys just to prove I'm a tough guy. You know, my situation was, I felt like, fuck that. Not only am I not gonna quit, but I'm gonna try to win. I'm gonna fight you. I don't think he thought I was gonna fight him like that. Well, after the fight, he even told me. A lot of people thought, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's the way I look. They thought I was all talk. They really thought that I was gonna quit. They didn't think I was built like that. They didn't think that my warrior spirit was like that. I was telling them it wasn't my warrior spirit that was in question. It was my training, my preparation. Had I been better prepared, better, I could have been better coached, been around my coach longer because had it not been for my coach, I don't pull that off. That's 100% doing part, well, 50-50. I gave 50%, but I got to give my coach a lot. He pushed me when I was in the gym. He did. In the little bit of time, my coach, shit, if it wasn't for him, I was hearing him in my, um, practice your breathing, hear your breathing, hear, you know what I'm saying? Like that. And I think that that's what bought me some time. Like, you know, but my will as a fighter, bro, I didn't question that. I've been in plenty fights. You know, I knew that's what I was, and that's what I always have been. It was just my preparation, man. You know what I mean? And like how 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 the moment, you know what I mean? But the moment was fucking awesome, bro. If I was to do it again, look, I didn't sleep for those 2 days. I went out there to Atlanta by myself. The night of the fight, I couldn't sleep. I knew that I was also like, alone. I knew that I was alone uh, in the situation. There was a lot of things in the back of my mind, and they were talking about the book. I didn't have a book, and that my fight wasn't gonna happen, and a lot of things. And then they ripped like pages out of one dude's book and gave it to me, and allowed it to continue and stuff. Those pages, man, I had them in my hand because after I lost, the doctor gave me the pages. You could see it in my video. Somehow, through everything, I was just down on myself, and somehow I lost the pages too. I don't know where they are. Um, I just, you know, um, but leading into the event and everything, I was so new to everything. I was so new. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I never did this, you know. And when I did box as an amateur, all we did as kids was get on the bus. Our coach took care of everything. Our trunks, our books, he just come here, wait right here, get on the scale, do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But as a kid, we didn't do any of that stuff. And I guess Ness thought that we just because we were boxers and we signed up for this, we should know what to do. And it's not like that. And this other referee and Ness, they had real little patience with us. They're like, you guys are grown men. So what if we're grown men? This is new to some of us. And stop talking to me like a little kid. Because if it wasn't for the fact that I wanted to fucking do this shit, man, I probably would have, listen, I probably would have dog checked a couple of these dudes. Like, yo, you need to slow down how you talking to me, bro. Because the way they was sunning that Mexican, well, I don't know if it was Ecuadorian, Mexican, Salvadorian, something like that. Yo, the way he was yelling at him, I didn't like. I was like, as an official, I was like, yo, bro, you need to chill, man. And then like I know Ness has been doing this a long time, but and sometimes as a teacher or while you're doing something and the new guy comes in, you've been doing this so long, sometimes you forget what it was like to be the new guy. And you're like, bro, this is not fucking rocket science. It's simple. And they make you feel like you're an idiot. You know what I mean? With these little things, but two guys' fights got canceled and shit. And the way they got kind of treated, I was like, yo, but besides those little moments, the entire thing was so worth it. You know, everything. Every every headache, everything that happened was worth. What is this? Oh, it's one of those. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Now I see what it is. Thank you. That's what's up. The whole thing was all worth it, man, because um, you know, I got to meet every people from all parts of the world, like, from all over. Fighters traveled, you know, to meet other people there, that I've heard on the boxing voice and shit, to put like a face to the voice. That was funny. That was weird. Like people kept walking up to me like, "Yo, round one." And I was like, "Yeah, keep talking." And you know what I'm saying? I was trying to like, you know what I mean, match the voice with the James. He sounds exactly. It was quick to as soon as he's that's James Benitez. Man, listen, look, he sound exactly like he does. But a couple guys, I couldn't tell who they were. I couldn't tell who they were and stuff. They like their voice didn't match what they look like and shit. So that was cool. That was really cool. Going to the gym, you know what I'm saying? To going to the gym to meet Brian Norman Sr., that experience, and me and him goofing off in the gym and stuff. You guys seen my video and stuff. And you guys seen that me and Brian Norman Jr., we've gone back and forth, but as men, when we see each other and stuff, we he's an adult. He understands, like, you know what I mean? And that was awesome, and also just talking to them without a camera in their face. Like, I took out the camera that one time or whatever, did that, and then the camera went back in my pocket. Sometime I want to get to know the person. I don't want to always be interviewing somebody. You know what I mean? Like, yo, Brian Norman Senior, I'll have a conversation with you some other time on the boxing voice or whatever. But who are you as an individual? I just wanted to kick it with him, just like if we were just two dudes kicking it in the gym or whatever, in life. So, I think when you meet a person for the first time, you should get to know a little bit about them rather than, hey, how you doing? Yeah, can I get a picture? Yeah, yeah. Listen, who your son fighting? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? You know, I think I'm gonna be doing this for a long time, and I don't think that's gonna be the first time I meet him. No, I'm in this for the long haul, so I can be patient. You know what I'm saying? In getting that interview or setting that thing up or like so forth and so forth. You know, so yeah. OC the boss. What up, Jerry? Oh, another thing is this. And I wanted you guys, I'm glad that OC's here. And if he's still sticking around, bro, you got what? Bro, I got dropped. I let PR down. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Put it up there. Man, I don't think you let your Puerto Rico down because you get lost or dropped in a fight. I don't think I was representing the entire, you know what I mean? I'm just a Puerto Rican fighter. That's it. Um, I did great, man. I did awesome. I was in my head about that maybe 25 minutes ago. That message would have affected me, but I've gotten too much love behind this. And like that old dude said when I got out the ring, the white official, because they had three referees alternating that night, and there was like this white dude. He had white hair, with white solid hair. He said, "Young man, I've been doing this for a very long time. That's got to be the best 40 masters and up fight I have ever witnessed." He said, "Every time we give like the dudes 45, 40 years old and up, they look sloppy. One guy is way more skilled than the other, and he just railroads one guy. You'll have one guy with like an O, like when they read off my record. Remember, my record was 0-0-0. Remember, his record was 15-1. He was 15-1. I was 0-0-0. So for a fighter having 0-0-0, he told me, he was like, "Yo, that was the best Masters fight I've ever witnessed." He said. So I gave a great account of myself. Fuck it. My foot went in a thing. I twisted my shit. He hit me on a shot going down. But you want to know something? You want to know something for OC the boss, right? Check it out. If we go back and we look at all his memorable moments that he was beating his chest and trying to take an upper hand, all of it was dirty boxing. And I don't mean to call him out on this, but it's just something someone obviously is going to say eventually. So when I twist it like this, and pop my shoelace and my wedding band popped out, that I pointed down and I looked down, you attacked me and hit me in the face. Protect yourself at all times, right? I guess. Dirty boxing, right? So you couldn't hit me good enough while we were standing in front of each other that when you saw the person look down or turn his back, that's when you struck me. Then the other time when your claim to victory is I sprained my ankle, I threw a punch, you threw a punch, it nicked, it was a borderline slip, controversial knockdown. That's when you beat your chest. So everything that was given to you, everything that you dirtily got, even the standing 8 count they got me for breathing, that you started going like this into the crowd, nothing was earned. Everything that your highest moments were like grimy moments. I fought you honorably. I try to get my points as points. I didn't hit you in the face when you was looking down and your wedding ring was on the floor and I saw that you were looking on and then I punched you in the face. I didn't play you dirty. I didn't start cheering into the crowd while the crowd was booing, saying, "Yo, that was a slip. That's not an award." Nope. So you're forcing the knockdown. Oh, at least I made contact. So your punch didn't drop me. But the fact that you made contact while I was falling, you want credit for that. Yo, technically, that's a knockdown, right? But it wasn't your punch that knocked me down. And then when, you're cheering on the fact that they gave me a bullshit standing 8 count for breathing. All right. That's how you do? That's how you want the victory? And those are your best moments in the fight. Like that? You want that? That's what bothered me so much. I didn't want to lose like that. I didn't feel like he beat me. I didn't feel like he beat me. And if we go back to that third round and you look at those 2 knockdowns and shit, ask yourself, who won the third round? Bro, I was coming at him. I was trying to get that knockdown back. So even if you give us 1-1, you know what I mean? And I was so I was like, okay, cool, OC the boss, cool. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, fought you, Midwest. Yo, cool. Here, I got a suggestion. I got a small suggestion. Right, Ness, he don't want to go nowhere cold, but Ness is not the only game in town. We can still fight. We can still bring a crowd out ourselves. Maybe we could do something for ourselves, me and you, OC, because a lot of people went out there for my fight and your fight, OC. Let's just speak the truth. I saw how many people walked out of there after our fight was over. I saw how many people were there because of me and you. You know what I mean? They were there for the event too. They stuck around for to show faith for TBV. I see what they did, but you know what I mean. My sister got a gym in Philly, bro. Me and you, we can meet back up in Philly in a couple months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever. Right? We can use my sister sanction. It's a bigger event. You know what I'm saying? And if you got people tours out there, we could pack that, bro. Me and you. I think we can. And we could even take some of the other guys fighters that are around that want to get it in during this time. You know what I mean? We could do our own thing. It's not like we're going against TV. No, we could also do the TBV thing too. You know, but we don't have to sit on the shelf. That's what I'm saying. You know, because Ness just didn't want to go to Philly because it was cold. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, you know, so I don't know. I don't know. I I might get another fight in between time just to stay active or whatever. If, you know, I was thinking about because yeah, I want to fight again. I want to fight again. Just I know I said that I would fight one time and this would be it. Um I don't think I did terrible, bro. I think my punch resistance was good. I think my power is there if I can fucking land with some authority and shit and get better foot placement and timing. You know, more experience with a guy in front of me. Let me spar more. Um, I don't think I'm like done. You know, like I said, my 22-year-old sparring partner hit me, and my 20-year-old sparring partner hit me. They hit harder than OC. Yo, I'm telling you, they did, right? And OC hit me flush with his shot, like over the top, boom. And I looked at him like this. He literally hit me. I was like, boom. I was like, the fuck is that? Man, bro, if I had a better gas tank right now, bro, I'll put the beat by Dre on him. He was not gonna knock me out. And that's why he had to take like that bullshit ass knockdown because he knew his best power shots didn't move me. He hit me with everything. I mean, I looked right into his eyes. He was like, shit. I saw the reaction on his face when he hit me. He went, because he thought he was gonna go boom and I was gonna drop. I went boom. And he was like, yo, you look at the 2 steps he went. He went backward, he went like this, he went, oh shit. He went, yeah. So my punch resistance is there. Hey, yo, and OC can crack. I'm not saying he's pillow fisted because I felt his punches. I felt OC's punch. Yo, the difference between in level of punches, though, I don't know. Maybe because I maybe like in my sparring partners, I don't know if I had like that anger for them or whatever too, like of really wanting to hurt them. Where that I have for OC, like that was like hidden shit. Like I had a poker face, but I really wanted to take his head off, right? So, but in comparison, when OC hit me with his best punch, all I felt was, pow! It went boom. It was like a flash, and that's it. That was it. When my sparring partner hit me, he hit me. I saw stars, and then the music came out. And then the room started spinning. And I was like, oh shit. That was the difference. That when he hit me, my sparring partner hit me, boom. I was like, oh shit, I need to grab him. I knew I was, OC hit me. I was like, boom. I was like, yo, all right, I'm gonna give you one of mine. You know what I mean? That was it. You know what I mean? That's how it was. So that's why I feel like, my punch resistance was good. I need better mobility to move my head, but I kept telling myself in the moment, keep it simple. You can't burn a lot of energy, Edwin. Don't start fucking moving your feet and doing this. That's what I was telling myself. I didn't want to burn energy. I was just like, keep it basic. I said, fuck it. I already felt his power. He's not gonna drop me. He's gonna hit me a lot with this overhand right, and this might sting a little, but I'm gonna stay right in the pocket with him. Once I felt his proof, I'm staying in the pocket. I was like, I'm good. Let's go. I was like, let's go. I've been here before. I was. As soon as he hit me with that little shot, man, listen, I'm staying right in front of you. That's what I did. I just didn't want to burn no energy, but I didn't want to gas out. I didn't want to gas out. I needed 10 more pounds to cut. What's up, wrong one? What? What's up, wrong one? I gave you so much credit, man. You went in there in the ring at this time. Keep it up. Great work. Thank you, man. Thank you. How tough this shit was, bro. I don't think a lot of people understand, man. Like, what's up? I saw somebody put something about Philly and yo, listen, talk about it, bro. I would love to go out to Philly. I don't think I need everybody. I think that um my name and I think I got some supporters and stuff. I think we could bring a good show to Philly, man. I really do. I would hope the guys from TBV, some of them would come aboard, and if they don't got anything they're doing and they're not scared of the cold weather, they come out. Philadelphia is a rich boxing city. It has a lot of boxing history. Had a lot of, you know, legendary gyms out there in Philadelphia. A lot of great champions came from Philly. B Hop, a lot, a lot. There were a lot, there are a couple current champions, and Jerron Boots Ennis and Stephen Kubo Fulton, to this day. So I think that Philadelphia would be a great, it's right there next to New York, New Jersey's right there, right in the, you know, I think it would be a great venue, man. And I would love to go out there and show up and show out for the great state of Philadelphia and my sister's gym out there. You know what I'm saying? Kingdom's Boxing. Remember, guys, Kingdom Boxing, Philadelphia, North End, right there. I always got my sister's belt right here. So yeah, yeah, man. You know what I mean? I would love that. Philadelphia, summer of 2026. I saw that. You feel like I won the first and clearly lost the second and the third? Okay. And the only reason why I feel like I would have lost the third because you would be counting the bogus knockdown and them giving me a standing 8 count for fucking breathing, not for his action, not because of his pressure, his punches, because I showed signs of fatigue or taking a breath. Why don't you allow him to do his job? If you felt like I was tired, I didn't ask you for help. Just move out of the way, referee, and have him put me down. Because if I'm not mistaken, 8 seconds is not enough to give me the amount of oxygen that I would. 8 seconds, still the probably, according to you, that person probably would have quit. As soon as that referee got on my way, we started banging. Did we not? And before he was in my way, we were banging it out. So if you look at the third round and you take away that bullshit ass knockdown that his punch did not knock me down, obviously, and one for not breathing, how's he win the third round? He doesn't win the third round by landing punches, I tell you that much. I can put up the third round right now. We can watch it. I can put up the whole fight. We can watch it right now together. As a matter of fact, I can put up my version because I had my camera from my side and then Ness and them were talking. But they talk so much shit that it misconstrues your perception of the fight. And mine has no audio. I mean, no, they're not commentating on mine. You could see it, you know? And so you can award him the third round by opportunities and moments in the fight that he didn't deserve. He didn't earn those things. I earned the first round. If you gave me the first round, it's because I earned it. He didn't earn that knockdown, and he didn't earn that standing 8 count. So get your little victory from, fucking like fouls and shit. Fouls on my behalf. That's how you won? All right, cool. It's not like you won because you whooped my ass. You feel me? So play the fight. Show them play the fight. Let's go, OC. I love OC because he always put his foot in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? I love OC the boss. OC, why don't you put some fucking color in the thing? Put a super chat. Yo, everybody, put a super chat. Put some love in there, man. Let me see some color. Jesus Christ. Cheap ass. Okay, what was he doing? Oh yeah. Let me put up the OC the boss. OC the boss. Little love. Yo, and I'm putting up my version because fuck what Ness and them was saying and shit. I love them and everything, but they can be a little biased. They can be a little biased. Okay, where was I? Where's the border? Was right here. Bingo bango. Now, now what we're gonna do? We're gonna put this up because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I can have a misconstrued perception of what was going on. So talk is cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's really cheap, right? So what we're gonna do is hold up. All right, let me take some of these things down right here. And I already got the fight up on my screen over here. So I'm just gonna put it up right now. Give me 1 second. The fight will be going up right here. Okay, right here. Bingo, bango. Now, let's see here. Can we get this to blow up a little bit better here? Bang, bang. Okay. Now, this is my camera angle of the fight, I believe it is. Of course it is, because I recorded it. Okay, I just gotta find my fight now. Where the okay, we fought at like no. That was well, there we are. We're right here. Okay. What round is this? This is round 1, right? Yeah, this is round 1. Bingo. Here we go. OC, you sure you want to do this again? You sure you want to do this? Yo, all right, we're gonna do it again, but we're gonna do it from my camera angle right now. Once again, here it is, round 1 sports talk versus OC the boss, Atlanta, Georgia. This is what took place. Let's watch the fight. Man, my shoulder was fucked up, bro. I got that tape, I put it on my shoulder. Still, I threw that motherfucker like it was going out of style. Straight spamming the 1-2. Look at OC in fucking phenomenal shape, by the way. Shout out to OC, bro. He came in great shape, man. Motherfucker almost made that 175, bro, by like 2 pounds, the fucker. But I think he made that because he took off his shoes because they weigh like 10 pounds. A little motherfucker, you know what I mean? I'm talking shit, right? But but he almost made the weight. All right, here we go. Bang. Look at this. Ooh, nice little downstairs body shot. Boom. Where you going? Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah. Oh, good action. Ooh, nice stiff jab. Oh, see, I got you with a jab too. Boom, over top. Ooh, that I got answered back. Boom. Oh, I answered right there. Boom, boom. Ooh, good back and forth exchange. Bang, bang, boom. Yeah, first round, we just, oh, nice little jab there. Boom. I miss. Ooh, look at Rocky and Apollo. Apollo Creed and Rocky in there. Just want you to know. Oh, nice little overhand over the top. Oh, stiff. Wow, that one went straight down. You felt that? OC, how about that one? How about take that back to your corner? Mm. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch. Look at OC when he gets his moment. Look, look, look. Watch this, guys. My wedding ring's gonna pop out of my shoelace because I step on my shoe, and then he attacks me for my wedding ring rolling on the floor, and he picks it up. And I go over to the guy and say, "Yo, that's my wedding ring." That's OC the boss's greatest moment in the fight right there in round one. That oh, that punch counted, but you hitting me dirty because you obviously seen I was pointing to the ground. But no, 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 no. That's when you attack because that's when it's taught that that's the only time you can get to me. So let me punch him in the face. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Hey, protect yourself at all times, man. That's my bag, right, OC? You got me. You got me, bro. I can't complain about it, bro. I should have been aware then or not looking down, right? You know, that's how you teach them, OC. Get them dirty shots in. You know what I mean? But when he was standing in front of my face, he wasn't doing that. No. And here we go, the second round. So it's up to you guys. Who you think won that first round and who, you know, tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you feel like I lost it, just, say it. If you think he won it, just tell the truth. This is why I'm watching it because you guys. Because you can't ask me because of course I'm going to say I won it. So I don't want to be biased here. So and I also need to hear the truth, you know. But I think that both our performances were fucking great. I think I think OC looked amazing. I didn't do too shabby myself. Look at this shit. Look at these guys. Are you sure that guy's 51 years old? Check his ID. Are you sure OC's 48? Look at these guys. No sloppiness. How many content creator fights did we watch? Did they look half as good as these two guys? Come on, let's be honest. What the fuck was this, OC? This was bullshit. Shit was starting to heat up right there in that round. Yo, you know what he did? He paused us, sent us to the corner, and told the guy to take the kid off. I guess he had him sitting like on the stool or something. I don't know how that had to do with our fight, but here we go. We're going back to the action. I'm coming forward, snapping the jab. Makes me look like I'm a lefty. Boom, boom, nice. But it's my camera. I'm a righty. Boom. Ah. I was gonna snap that right hand over top. I boom. In some of these exchanges, man, I wish I would have punched just a little stronger. I would have had liked to really like set down on my punch, but referee breaking it up, giving him time to breathe. Look at this. Man, that was a good round, second round right there, guys. That's a good close ass fucking second round right there. Look, I think that we fought well. Um, it is what it is. They awarded him the victory. I'm not gonna complain about it. I still think that the judges were biased because unanimous decision, unanimous, fuck out of here, bro. Unanimous, no, no, no. And like right where the judge was sitting at, notice the person next to the judge. Who's the next person? Two Tone. Who's the next person after that? Ness. Ness and Two Tone were yelling, right? And the judge is right there. It can persuade them to, you know what I mean? And Like, I remember at the third round, if you hear Ness's virgin, Two Tone saying, OC the boss won the fight. Them two knockdowns won him the fight. And like the judge is literally almost shoulder to shoulder with Two Tone. It's the two officiated with the bald headed dude and then the Spanish lady. The late I don't know, maybe she was mulatto or whatever, right? But she looked light skinned. And that was the lady that was officiating. They were like right there. Man, let's see that again. Let's see that again. Let's see that again. How do we do that slow motion shit? I want to do the slow motion shit where you could put it like slow. Because I want people to understand, although it went fast, this sequence went fast, what actually takes place is I throw a punch first. He throws a punch on top of my punch, meaning my arm actually hits his arm and knocks like all the power out of his arm. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had a better because we talked about the punch, bro. Like, nah. See, this is when I needed my coach in this round right here, the third round. I needed my coach to tell me a couple things. Look, wait. I see. I threw the punch first. He throws his punch, and my front leg twisted like this on that mat. You see how my front foot? See that foot? And then the thing is that remember everything is backwards. In this frame, everything's backwards. I'm not a lefty. I'm not throwing my right hand first. I'm throwing my left hand in real life. You have to understand that. I don't know why Apple cameras recorded that way. If you put it if you flip the screen and you put the camera going that way, it makes everything go backwards. You ever see somebody say, yo, that guy had the cast on this arm, and the next day he had it on this arm, and it was the same cast? It just means that somebody's phone recorded them like a mirror. When you look into a mirror, it goes backwards. With a camera, it'll go backwards. You know what I'm saying? So that's what actually it's doing. And my brother asked me that. He said, Edwin, you fought left-handed? I was like, no, I'm not left-handed. So the sequence is going different. So, and I pointed to the point, the spot on the floor, and everybody started booing. And here he is, doing the fucking triple X thing. Like, he just knocked me the hell down. And he got confident. Like, he got up. Like, it gave him this false confidence. He almost walked into a big one. Because for some reason, I think he believed I was hurt or something. And he knew I was tired. But look at this shit. Look at that warrior. Man. Bro, he came at me. There was nothing hurt about me. He just walked into a flurry of punches. Look at this shit. Look, this shit was hilarious. The dude told him, you really knocked him down. He's hurt. Man. Look, watch. He fucks up. He almost walked into a big one right here. Almost. Even though I was exhausted by this time and everything, I still felt strong. I still felt strong. Not all the way there, but I was still dangerous. I was still punching. I mean, damn, bro. You see the second punch he threw? I still hadn't dropped and it missed me. Look at him. And he was like, yeah, I knocked him down. Yeah. I was like, bro, look, he almost walked into it. Come on. That was a good shot by him. He hit me good right there. Bang, boom. Bing, bing, boom, beep, beep, beep. He went backwards like, He, boop, 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 boop. He was like, he took another step back. Boop, boop, boop. Look, boop, boop. He didn't land another punch since then. And look at his feet. Look at he's staggering. Look at him. Look at him. Look. He was asking for air. And I couldn't understand why he got in front of me. And then he gave me a bullshit standing 8 count. Yo, oh, you saw that, right? Man, OC, man, I think this dude was your uncle. He might have been your uncle. I don't know, bro. Y'all might be related. Yo, but that's what it is, man. And that's what kind of cost me the fight right there, I think, in a nutshell. I think the fight was competitive. I can't say enough about OC the boss. He was tough. OC was durable. Uh, he was fucking tough, bro. Um, you know what I'm saying? He definitely wasn't like no walkover. I saw where, that his experience in fighting in these fights really showed. Me having 0 fights. Uh, I think I had a good account for myself. I did. I made a good account for myself. When they announced the record, I know it didn't sound right. He got 15-1 and me 0-0-0. So, uh, the referee definitely didn't know who the 0-0-0 guy was in there. He couldn't tell which one of us. Which one of you were like making your fucking debut? You know, because it looks both of you are in here doing just fine. You know, and we didn't look like half these dudes, bro. That Charleston White and fucking Island Boy fight, that was crazy. Mine and OC the Boss fight was 10 times better than that fight. It was better than half them content creator fights. And when I'm looking at it now, I'm watching it again and I'm saying to myself, bro, we looked pretty good. We did. We looked pretty good. Me and yo OC, shouts out to you, bro. I'm a little hard on myself because, you know, uh, I'm just a competitor. So I'm like real down on myself and shit. But uh other than that, man, I had a fucking blast, bro. That was like one of the best things. It was like a scratch I couldn't itch, and I fucking finally scratched it. You know, win, lose, or draw, nerves, no coach, 2 nights, no sleep, whatever it was. Not the shoulder, putting the tape on, running across the street to Walgreens, getting baking soda, putting water, drinking baking soda on water on a live. Like, if, you know, just the whole experience, you know, it really questioned, who are you? Are you afraid to tackle things on by yourself? Do you do things because you wanted to be applauded? Were you doing this just for attention? I didn't do this for no one's attention. I was too busy focused on myself that I actually didn't really do enough, I felt, or told enough people. This was just, you know what I mean? I wasn't scared. I just wasn't scared. I just the whole time, people are like, nah, some they don't know you and shit. And sometimes you're trying to tell somebody, just give me an opportunity and I'll show you I'm not bullshitting. I wasn't bullshitting when I said I would take that fight. A lot of people had a lot of doubts. That motherfucker ain't showing up. He all talk, and I get it. You're not supposed to let somebody walk up to you and just tell you a story and you're supposed to believe it. You guys were supposed to see if I do it. Let's see if round one's all talk. You know what I'm saying? Or is he really about that life? You know what I mean? I told y'all we from around here, we from the show me state. You're gonna have to show me. That's where I told you that's where we come from. And I'm just happy that me and OC were able to go out there and perform like that. And, it was remarkable that even off of the loss that I got, that I've gotten this much support. you know, and everybody feels like I didn't lose the fight and stuff, and it's crazy. Like, um, somehow, some way, I still feel like a winner. You know, because I I'm just hard on myself. That's all. I'm just hard on myself. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to do just one and be done with it and shit. But I'm thinking right now, how the fuck that gonna look on box rack? When you look at my box, it's gonna be like 0-1-0. Like, I got no wins. Nah. I think I want a taste of the glory. You know what I'm saying? I need a taste of the glory. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, OC, you're fucking right. I knew you told me I was gonna get that bug and I was gonna want to do it again. And I do. I want to do it again. Uh uh and I think I want to do a fight in Philadelphia. You know, and if you guys don't mind the code and you guys want to come out to Philly, and if OC wants to put up that belt in Philly, come down and we can fight in Philly. My sister put up belts anyway. We'll get other belts and shit. Um, we could go out there and swing, But if you want to play it safe and go wherever Ness says or whatever, I might get a tune-up fight in between just to get myself, and then I'll meet you again on the rematch, OC. And I just think the next time we meet, things are gonna be a little different. They're gonna be a little different. You know, uh, that's what I was able to do with 2 months, and that's what you were able to do coming off of last 2 months being in Border Wars. So you had two training camps to my one. It's all right. Cool, cool, cool. I still like my odds. Didn't I tell you? They were like, yo, Elwin, he's an active fighter. He just came, he might have lost, but he still came off fighting Ford. And you saw what Ford just did to Vega, right? And Ford didn't get OC the boss out of there. Ford didn't take OC but that's how durable OC is. And they like, yo, Elwin, you still want to fight this dude? We're trying to tell you, OC, he bought that light. OC Smosey. I like my odds. I like my odds. I said, let's listen. I wasn't gonna shy away. What the fuck, bro? I try to tell these dudes. I was like, I've been in one or two fights in my life. I'm not sure if you guys like, but it is what it is. You got to prove yourself. Talk is fucking cheap, bro. Anybody can fucking talk. And then you go see them in that ring and they look sloppy as fuck, boy. They look crazy, don't they? They're like, looking crazy and shit. You embarrassing yourself, not only yourself, but your family and everything. Like, yo, some of them fights and I'm just glad that when I look back at it, my fight with OC the boss, that it looked pretty decent, man, for our age, for who we are on our level. When OC's not a pro, I'm not a pro. Don't compare me to the fucking these, on our level. I think we look above average. Yeah, I really do. Now that I'm like looking at it, like, because like I told you, the fucking one thing I'm having trouble with in my head, why I judge me and OC, is that he's 48 and I'm 51. That's my, like, I'm starting to look at us and being like, yo, my footwork was sloppy here. My arm thing was, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, hold up. And where's your measuring stick? In comparison to who, Edwin? Okay, so go get me some masters 45 and up, two guys, and let's compare us. Let's compare us to our contemporaries, not to fucking every other, you know what I mean? And that's where I forget. And as soon as I start like to be like, oh shit, that I start to feel a little better about myself. I'm like, yo, E, bro, you did that like here. So don't be so hard on yourself, And and if I really look at it like that objectively, and I start like looking at dudes our age doing this, bro, we blew them dudes out the water. So, and it was all good in part because OC showed up too. And that I showed up for OC too in his behalf. Because one of us could have been really skilled and the other one could have been a cab driver. And if it doesn't make the fight good because you're like, oh, they weren't on the both the same skill. But it looked like in there, me and OC, we were right there, bro, with skill. Yeah, yeah. That his trunks were uglier than mine, but still, it didn't matter. Those funny looking trunks. Did you see that? You couldn't even read like the. It was just yeah. You know what I mean? But other than his goofy looking trunks, nah, I had to like pick something, right? I'm gonna take a shot at him. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Them trunks were probably fire and shit. I really don't even remember what they look like, but I'm just gonna say that, just to talk shit. All right. Fucking me and OC, we look great. Other than what I'm saying, like other than nothing, we look fucking amazing. So uh yeah, like I want to run it back with OC because of the fact for multiple reasons. One, I know he's gonna fight. I know he's gonna fight, and he's a crazy boxing fanatic like me. I also know he's gonna show up because he showed up. Yeah. And we shared the ring with each other, so we kind of familiar with each other a little bit. So he would have that much confidence on going in the ring and fighting me. And I don't think that he would pull out. And that's why, for multiple reasons, I would like to fight OC the Boss. But if I can't fight OC the Boss, I wanted to fight that other dude, the Barbarian, Dan the Barbarian, whatever dude. I want to fight that dude. I'll fight Dan the Barb. He got a lot of energy. He got a lot of energy and shit. Like I like to fight dudes that are that are fighters. I don't want an easy fight. I don't want fucking some cab driver. I don't need that. I don't need no one to baby me or me to go out there and I just want to get a win. No, man. If I suffer another loss, then that's what the fuck it'll be, bro. Until I really win on my own. I'll keep taking tough fights. I don't care. I don't want for like I said, one guy to be fucking electrifying and the other guy being like this. That's you know, are you gonna beat your chest on that? Oh yeah, you see I knocked that dude. Yo, it's clear as day that dude wasn't on your level. Clear as day, like you know what I mean? Like that's not a good win. It's not a good win. It's a better scalp when the guy is fighting you back, man, and you beat him. That's a better scalp. Yeah. You know what I mean? So fuck that, bro. Fuck all that easy win shit. So what did wifey say about my fight? All right, just in case I get a little emotional here, I ain't gonna like show it, right? Whew. That was the one phone call, man, that I had to make that was really tough for me. Calling my wife after the fight. For as much as shit I put her through in those last 2 months, uh, you know, this wasn't all peaches. It wasn't. Uh, she thought she didn't believe in this. She thinks that this was like a lot of machismo. Like my wife is not a boxing wife. No. She thought this was something like I wanted to do, like building a model car. When I would tell her I needed to go to the gym and train, she didn't give a fuck. No, you need to be home. You need to do this. Like she didn't understand like all the way. And then the next day she would feel bad and be like, "Can I drive you to the gym? I'm so sorry. I was like that." And she just didn't get it, like how much this really meant to me when she was like, "How can this mean so much to you? When I met you, we've been together 16 years. You've never boxed. So how the hell is this like?" And she didn't understand it. So when I lost, uh, 4 or 5 days before the fight, it was like 4 or 5 days before the fight, right? We get into an argument, me and my girl. And she was like, "You're gonna fuck around, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna embarrass us. You're gonna embarrass yourself and everything, right?" And it was because I was telling her, "Man, no matter what I do, I can't get like past this pace and breathing." And when you get in an argument with your girl, they know how to push your buttons. They know how to say things that'll mess with your head, whether they believe it or not. Sometimes women will say things just out of anger, not that they mean it or in necessarily yourself, right? And but she said some shit, so that was in the back of my head. And then, of course, the day I left from the fight, it was "I love you, good luck," these things, but shit was said a few days ago that was still in my head. So after the loss, like, I didn't know how she felt. Of course, I didn't see the fight. I was in the fight, but I didn't know how the fight played out. I didn't know how I looked. At that moment, I didn't wasn't I was still in my uniform. I'm just sitting there at the side, and the phone's in my hand, and it's ringing. The phone's ringing, and I'm seeing everybody that's calling me. I'm just not answering the phone. I'm in my head. I feel like I failed, like I'm a failure. And I know, like, I could hear people saying, "You got to eat crow, Edwin. You got to eat crow." And it's not about that for me. You know what I'm saying? This was much more than that for me. You know, I'm just trying to sell the fight and bring the people out to come and see me fight. So I'm talking crazy. I'm saying my talk. He's talking his talk. And I was cool with that. I was cool with that. I was cool with it all. But it was what she felt about me and shit. So when I call her, she gets on the phone with me and she's yelling, and I'm like, what? She's like, "You did so great." And she was like, "I'm so proud of you." And to hear her say that, and I was like, "Man, I lost." She was like, "So fucking what?" She was like, "You got in there, you didn't quit. You made a great account." She was like, "Baby, you're amazing." And like, there's no better feeling than to have the closest people next to you support something you did. And even though in a failure, it's not like I won the big game. You know what I mean? It's not like I won the big game. I'm actually coming back. I lost. You know what I mean? So, uh, it's true what they say. It's true what they say. What you put into your training is going to show in your performance. And I think everybody that watched my fight, they saw that I did what I could in 2 months. You saw how heavy I was before that too. I lost 20 some pounds. Come on, guys. Like, I think I gave it a good, the old college heat, try. Um, Still think I could have did better. Yeah. Yeah, I think I could have. Um, I was a little stubborn in certain areas. Uh, and boxing taught me that, being humble, you know? It's weird, right? When you're in a boxing event like this, right? We're inside this boxing event, amateur boxing. There's like 35 fights jumping off. 35 fights times two because there's two fighters in the ring, right? Okay. So you got all these warriors walking around each other, just looking at each other. And could you not but help but notice no one's trying to be a tough guy? No one's bumping into each other, trying to cause a fight. Everybody, excuse me. Yup, 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 yup. This way, right over here. Everybody's like focused in their own, right? But if you were to go to a different neighborhood where there was no boxers, and you saw a bunch of gang members or whatever, they're all trying to portray as tough guys. They want to bump into you. Yo, they want, you know what I mean? The image of that fighter that they're not. And meanwhile, you're in a room full of fucking warriors, and it's one of the most humble environments. If you want to go left, they'll give you what you came for. It keeps everybody honest, doesn't it? It shows that these guys, they're not bullies. They live by a code, an honor. I'll do my fighting in there. You know, every now and then you'll get that one tough guy in there, but for the most part, yo, mad respect. And it's ironic when I see that. Like, I'm in a room with full of a bunch of future killers, right? And it's one of the most humble, peaceful places to be. You know, sometimes arguments, some coaches take it too far, whatever. You'll get those one or two in there. But for the most part, think about it. You go to an after hour or something, ain't nothing but a bunch of fake tough guys that want to fucking pull out a strap. Bunch of fake tough guys that are scared to get an ass whooping. But they're just too busy acting tough. That's how the world is, huh? That's how the world is. Got you thinking that some of these boxers are real boxers, and the real boxers ain't making half nearly the money they should be. As we saw with now talking on boxing, bringing boxing into this, Jerron Boots Ennis with Virgil. You guys saw that shit. You know, I'll make another video. We can talk about that. You know, and I want to hear your guys' reactions on that because what is this fucking talk that belt ain't shit again? See, every time we get here, oh, will the fight be bigger if they both had belts? Will the fight, is it the fight going to be big without belts? And so forth and so forth and so forth. And this stigma that Xander is the weakest champion up there, which I don't know what the hell people are talking about because who the hell is that WBA guy? Right? But Xander's the weakest. Like, yo, this stop the cap. Stop the cap. Right? Jerron Boots Ennis should beat him for that WBA title. I don't know why he's not fighting him. And Virgil, if you're such a bad motherfucker, bro, just fight your mandatory. You are the interim, aren't you? Just fight Sebastian Fedora and get a belt, bro. And shut all these people up, Virgil. You know, I asked Coach Rocky, my coach, about the fact that do you feel like that knockout Virgil got, is his opponent damaged goods? Is he damaged good? And Coach Rock said, nah, I don't think so, bro. I think he caught him flush in that temple. I think Virgil would have caught anybody there, he said. So he said it wasn't enough time, the 2 rounds. It wasn't enough time to determine if Lubin is damaged goods. You know, that not enough went by, enough evidence. I mean, if Lubin would have never suffered those beatings and he got caught with that same punch, Rocky still thinks that it would have been the same result because he caught him too clean on the temple. It was just, and then he caught him again and he caught him again like that. So he got caught in a bad situation. It wasn't enough information for him to definitively say that Lubin. Now, if he goes out there again and gets knocked out again, you know, because I was referring to like Amir Khan to Rocky. And I was telling him that Amir Khan was a great skilled boxer, but he became chinny and he started getting knocked out a lot. You know, and you know, when do you say, well, you know, now my punch resistance ain't that good? So, you know, I would like to talk to you guys about that and what you guys think about this Virgil and Jerron, but is this fixing anything? Is that going to make? Is it worth it now? Is it? Um, or should just two great fighters just fight? You know, um, remember once upon a time, David the Monster Benavidez, Saul wasn't, and then what did he do? He went out there and fought the Caleb Plants and the people that that also fared with Saul Canelo Alvarez. So he started beating them, to try to make his case for that title run. So, you know, um, Jerron Boots Ennis, Virgil, two good, great names. I don't think no one's wrong in their opinion. I think yes, the fight would be better if they both had a belt. Yeah, and I also think yeah, the fight would be good without any belts if they just kicked off now. Yes, I think both ways. Yes, there would be more at stake if there was belts on the line, and I think that your purses would be a little higher, right? Um, so there would be more on the line. But as far as the action against those two fighters, the fight is going to be the fight, whether it's for belts or not belts. I think the outcome's going to be the outcome. It's um so in that regards, uh look, there's options. Like I said, I don't think anybody's wrong. The people that are saying yes, the people that are saying no, but the one thing that is important, should we get this fight? And before I cut this live stream, my wife just got home. I would like to talk to her and everything. You know, um, this Turkey al Sheikh swindle deal, guys, that's starting to happen. Since I've been out training, I missed a lot of things in boxing, and now I'm gonna hop back into it. I need to like really just I like round one sports talk. I love talking to you guys about boxing. So the other thing is, you know, this little package deal that the zone did again. And are you guys catching on? All they did was charges really basically for fights we probably would have never watched. I'm not telling you that Chris Eubank and Conor Ben fight is not a pay-per-view fight, but what I'm telling you, it's not a pay-per-view fight here in America. That's what I'm telling you. Out there in the UK, yeah, you could probably do that. Yeah, it would be a pay-per-view for that out there. But did any of those guys become a world champion? And between the time they fought? No, because they weren't one going into their fight, and they haven't accomplished like a lot. And I understand that these are two sons living off what? Their dad's legacy. That's what's going on here. It's not like we're watching two accomplished fighters, legendary, epic fighters like their dads were. No. So pump your brakes and the zone is charging us a fee. Like if we would have paid pay-per-view for that one, and like if we would have paid pay-per-view for the Naoya Inoue fight and David Picasso, which is not a pay-per-view neither. I would never pay for in Naoya Inoue versus Dal L and David Picasso pay-per-view in America. No. For one, that's not a fight I wanted to see. And that's not the I mean, legitimately, yeah, you can say he's the next guy in line, but that's not a pay-per-view fight. Naoya Inoue hasn't done enough in the States. I'm just being realistic. I love Naoya Inoue. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you guys, that's definitely a pay-per-view fight because that's Naoya. No, Naoya Inoue is a very dead accomplished fighter. He deserves to have pay-per-view fights. He just hasn't reached that level. That's just the truth. That David fighting David, that's not a pay-per-view, bro. So what they're doing is they're putting all that in a bundle package and telling you, look, you'll save money this way. Technically, you would save money, but Naoya Inoue's last fights, none of them were pay-per-views. Like, I mean, after from the Vegas one down, we were just waking up in Japan at 4 o'clock in the morning and fucking watching it at 6 o'clock in the morning. That his last fight was on fucking Facebook. Facebook. And you mean to tell me from Facebook to, and you're trying to sell it to me, the zone, that's fucked up. And I just want to know you guys' opinion on that. That the zone, they try to market like they were ending pay-per-view, but the greed overcame. The dollar amount value couldn't get Turkey Al Sheikh to take away pay-per-view. Those charts, look, we'll make this much money if we do this and we ba 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 ba. Greed is a motherfucker. It's like, rather than them helping us and giving us a deal, at the end of the day, they raised the prices if you didn't notice. They were saying we're gonna end pay-per-view. We're done with pay-per-view. And they actually raised the prices right before your eyes. Yeah, and they just try to feed it to you like a bundle plan. It's nasty work. Nasty work, man. Nasty. And I never have promoted piracy. Never in my life have I ever came up here and told you to steal or go to a stream, but they're you know, they should treat their consumer a little bit better. They should, man. We've been here for a long time buying these fights, man, and don't try to piss down my back and tell me it's raining. Nah, I'm not pissing down your back. That's rain. Nah, you pissing down my back, bro. Like, nah, yo, listen, like, there's certain things in life that what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, right? How the hell you were gonna get up just a month ago and say, I'm gonna save boxing, no more pay-per-views, and at the end of what you came up with, you raised the prices? The fuck was that? They really think we're stupid or something. Like, just do it because eventually we have to go to them or something, like we're forced to. And this is crazy. Yeah, that the zone package deal, by the way, that's 200, and I think like $226 to start off the plan, because you got to pay all that to get it on the first time payment. You think all of us, we got 240 something or 20 something dollars just to fucking give away on some fights you probably would have never ever watched? They got boxing matches in these I don't want to watch that shit. I just want to watch the fight I want to watch. And if you do it that way, you'll still pay upwards of $80 if you don't give in to their plan. So if you don't pay the 200 and you just want to see the fight, it'll be like $75 or whatever, $80, I bet. Watch when all this shit is said and done. It's bullshit, bro. They're playing us, man. And shout out to fucking people like Pro Box and all of them that are still giving us fucking great fights and shit, like for free, real free shit. But yeah, we're gonna see where these guys. But if Turkey and anybody, y'all hear me, man, don't do that to us, man. We're loyal to you. And if you want us to come back and support boxing, support us as fans. You know what I mean? Soul Fight fans, what's up? Yeah, well, who's paying for the Haney fight? Well, now David the Monster Benavidez is mainlining that card. That's not the Haney fight neither. Okay, he's a co-main event on that fight. Remember that. But for that Anthony Yard, who the fuck is paying for Anthony Yard and David the Monster Benavidez? Your best names on the card actually is Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. You know what I mean? So now what? Now imagine if they got that. Yo, that's why they're attacking the Act. That's why they're attacking the fuck out of it. Because the Ali Act stops promoters from double dipping. Like say like the promoter goes to another promoter and that promoter tells you, we're gonna pay your fighter 600,000, right? Then your promoter turns around and goes to you and says, yo, I got an amazing deal. They're giving us 350,000. But out of that 350,000, I gotta take my 20% off the top. So after I take my off, and he already took, because they gave him 600,000. And he's double dipping, and he's charging you 20 on your. That's what the Ali Act protects. That if it comes out that the promoter got, that's your ass. That way, these promoters don't get all the money off your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears. And the Ali Act protects fighters. But Dana White and Turkey needs that to fall so that they can pay him slave wages. So that you can go back to like where the UFC is. You see, because what the promoter has to convince you as a new fighter that this works for you and for all the guys that are in the top 30 and down in boxing. Stay with me. Check it out. If you're not the type of fighter that makes $100,000 fights, then the KO league is for you. You're not exciting. You're not bringing people out. But if you move up the ladder in the KO, then all of a sudden you're making 100,000, 300,000, 600,000 for a title fight. And that's fucking awesome for a guy that they're not coming out to see, but that he's a real winner. He's just not popular. His style's not pleasing. And he's just sliding by these victories. That type dude, right? So it works for him. But what happens with the Ryan Garcias of the world and the Tank Davises that are coming up? Meaning, in only 6 fights, their market value is way higher than your little $150,000 in 6 fights. So now you got a superstar, and all you got to pay him is $150,000, but he's making upwards of $6 million revenue. Now you raping him because, like, I didn't mean to say that word, that they might think you taking the money because he's marketable. He's big, like his name. And there's some of these kids that are coming out from the amateurs. They're going like to the Olympics and they're coming out and they're making decent money off the rip. And to those guys, that doesn't work for them. Nope. Because now I'm fighting in your league. I'm winning a world title. And all you got to pay me is $600,000. And for my rematch, $600,000. And to defend it, $600,000. You're stuck in that contract. Meanwhile, you're fucking selling out stadiums. And your market value is 3 million, 4 million. They're going to pocket all that money. They own the rights to you. They could. So that's why the Ali Act is important, because we're not all equal. We're not. If you're not putting people in the seats like Saul is, look at Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford's situation right now. Perfect example. Saul Canelo Alvarez doesn't have the belts. Terrence does. Who do you think right now will sell more tickets? Go. If Saul went his own way and Terrence went his own way, Terrence might go to Omaha. He might have to sell over there. Saul, with no belts. He doesn't have a belt. But Saul's still going to sell, ain't he? You can't just give Saul's Canelo Alvarez $600,000. You think he's going to go for that? You crazy. It says Saul don't need them. So that's why, and I don't know. If Turkey's showing he says one thing and sticks it to you the other way, then that's exactly what he's trying to do with his KO league. How many times does he have to stick it to you so that you realize these guys are they're just other tyrants. They're actually just here just to keep taking from the sport and not giving to the sport. We're looking for people to come into the sport and to give to the sport. He gave a little bit just to show that he was just like all the rest. And you wanted to come in and devise this boxing TKO league. Very promising for young fighters that are coming up that don't have big promoters, big names, and the backing behind people. This is right up your alley. But what happens when you're signed into a contract for them for your next 5 fights and all of a sudden you blow up overnight? You're in a 5 contract deal with them. You're done. I don't care if you start knocking dudes out, getting the belts, now your pay-per-view material. Guess what? They keep all that. They're only obligated to pay you the dollar amount that you signed up for. You're done. You're basically Scottie Pippen for the Chicago Bulls. If you don't know that situation, go watch their documentary. You know what I mean? You're stuck on they don't got to pay you not a dollar more. So that's bullshit. I don't know. What do you say? Turk said what? What about Matias? Remember, the Turk said that Matias is going to be in that card. He got his own event. What a smooth, fresh production did. Hope to see them grow. Yo, because Fresh Promotion believed in their guy, Subria Matias. You see what Turkey tried to do? Turkey went in there and fucked up that whole fucking rematch in between Alberto Puello and Subria Matias when he should have just mind his business and let them two hit the rematch. But he went and jumped in there, and then like in a promise, like everybody sees, like Matias' eyes must have lit up. Here's my big payday. We hear all these things about Turkey Al-Sheikh paying all these guys, and here we go. I'm gonna get a big payday. When Turkey Al-Sheikh must have slapped Subria Matias with that bullshit ass offer. I don't know what the offer was, but I can tell you one thing. It wasn't $1.9 million what they bought the entire fight for. I tell you that much. Because if Fresh Production went to a purse bid and they won the fight with $1.9, $1.7 million, that's the entire fight. That means that Subier's not getting that money. You need to pay both fighters from that money and some other people. So you can imagine what Subriel is actually making. What's Subriel making? Maybe 1 million? What are you giving Dalton Smith? 800,000? 7, 6? And you give Subriel 1 and you bought it for 1.9, which gives you a little bit more money to try to get somebody else on the card. Because if you want to pay somebody else to get on the card, a co-main event, it's going to come out that money. So how much money did Turkey offer Subriel that Subriel looked at him and said, nope, we're going to a purse bid. Fresh Production had to deny what Turkey was offering. They didn't come to an agreement. So if the promoters can't come to an agreement, the fight is forced to go to a purse bid. And when you bought the fight in a purse bid, you only paid 1.9. He tried to pay Subriel peanuts. It definitely wasn't more than 1.9 because Subriel get, you know what I mean? He's not even getting all that. Like, so that was a boss move by Fresh Production. The fact that they bought the fight and they're gambling on Subriel to do good with Dalton Smith in New York, I think the Puerto Ricans will show up. I think they'll show up. That's a prestigious belt, the WBC. You know how they do. Uh, that's fucking the best belt in boxing right now. It's the highest. I'm not gonna say they got their shit together. It's like the, you know what I mean, but it is what it is. And I think that Fresh Production is gonna come out. They're gonna have a good event. I know they can't pull off like a turkey card because of the funds. They don't got turkey backing them to make like a studded fucking card. Uh, but nevertheless, you gotta bet on yourself. You gotta bet on your fucking self, bro. And Subriel Matias deserves it, bro. He deserves it. So he's betting on himself. Fresh Promotion is betting on themselves. They're gonna come to New York City, you know. And I'm going to that fight. I'm going to that fight in the Barclays Center. I'm gonna go. I've been to already like 2 or 3 Subriel Matias fights. I'm gonna go to this one too. You know, I watched them win that WBC world title. You know, it was a great feeling. You know, so I'm a big supporter of Subriel Matias. And I think that he's going to end his career strong. I would love to see if he can get a unification and fight one of these guys before they end up leaving, you know, the division or so forth. Like, you know, Richard Hitchison would be a great fight. I like a big because he's a big guy, tall, you know, like Subriel. You know, I like that kind of matchup right there and shit. So we'll see what happens. But respectfully, you know, out of respect, I would honor the rematch with Alberto Puello. Yeah, you know, he gave you a shot. You know, you know, have respect, man. Give him a shot back. But I don't think this was Subriel's doing. I think that Turkey try to get them for the low on this card and feed it to them in Riyadh, whatever type shit. And yeah, I guess it just didn't work out. So hey, we'll see. Time will tell. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I thought with round one, my wife didn't have a clue who he was, but she was. Really? Really? Ah, that's fire. She watched the fight too. That's fire. That's fire. That's cool, man. Yo, and like I'm glad that you know, I can inspire some people and stuff like that too. Sometimes you tackle things in life and you don't understand fully of what you're doing and how you influence people. You can be I can be a little hard on myself and stuff and think that I did nothing and that you know I'm a failure and all these stuff. And I went through the Rolodex of emotions. You know, coming back on the plane. I thought that there was just gonna be a whole bunch of like negative, you know, mail. And I know it's gonna come or whatever or this and that. You know, there's always gonna be those guys, but the overwhelming amount of support that came from this, like, you know, and like I remind you, like I lost, man. I'm like I feel like a loser right now and shit, and no one's made letting me feel like that. No, I mean no one. Everyone's like, you're not a loser in my book. Everybody's telling me you're a winner, man. It took balls to do what you did. A lot of people won't go in there and bang it out, let alone, endure the type of challenge that I endured, under the kind of pressure that I was under. You know, uh they just was like, yo, you did amazing. And sometimes you 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 don't know how good you did. I don't understand it, but I'm starting to feel it. I'm starting to feel that a lot of people really, respected what I did, and it just feels amazing. And it really, like, validates, that uh I'm not a loser, you know, and even in defeat, I'm still a winner, and that I'm a winner in life. And I set out to do something, and I did it. I saw it through. I didn't quit. When times got tough, when boxing asked a lot from me, I, you know, I kept going forward, kept going forward. And when it was time to show up, I was on my own, and I still went along with it. And I still went forward. No matter what, it kept bringing up. I didn't allow nothing to stop me, to rob me from my moment, that I wanted to experience. And I was thankful for everything, for everything. And I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful for you guys for, letting me have it and telling me the truth. And it was just a great experience. It was a tough one. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. It's good if you're thinking about doing something like this. Um, take it from me. Don't half-ass it. And the most important thing, don't think too much. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have bad weeks. You're gonna feel sluggish. You're gonna your body's gonna tell you, hey, let me go start thinking I need something, a vitamin, a everyday vitamin. I need this or I need that. And you're gonna go through all that. And I'm just here to tell you that that's all normal. If this is something you want to do, then this is not for the faint of heart. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to challenge you. It's going to test you. Getting punched in the face is not easy. It hurts. Yes, it does. It does. You guys saw me. I walked around with a black eye for like a week, right? And I told my wife, that's just badges. That's that's just another good day in the office. For a boxer, that's an honored black eye. That's learning right there. That's experience. So that the next guy doesn't give me a black eye. And the guy that, just in case I got to protect you, honey, I'd rather get a black eye and practicing how to learn how to fight than in the real fight, so that I don't suffer that black eye. So this black eye, this was earned. This is a different kind of black eye. And you got to understand that. When you go in the gym and you jump that rope in them 30 seconds that you punch the bag and that fatigue and how tired you got to say to yourself, that's only because I'm out of shape. Let's see what happens next week, and then next week, and then the next week, and keep building on what you got. And then you're going to go through that moment where you drop, where you get strong a little bit, but and then your body turns on you and you drop because now your body has to adjust to the new. And you think all that hard work, and I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like I'm moving. Just give it a week. Just give it another week. Yo, that's how that shit works, man. I went through a lot, man, like a lot in this little bit of time. I try to cram it all in one. I started thinking I was overtraining, undertraining, not eating right. Oh, like just everything. The fear of losing, everything. It just everything comes, and you gotta be a little, you know what I'm saying? I think to box, you really do, because with all the reality, I could have went in there and got punched and hit the ground awkwardly and became a vegetable. I just want to bring that out there. There's a possibility, there's a scenario in all of this that could happen. There's a scenario that I left my house that day to go out to this boxing match and that I didn't return the same way I left. Yes, people, I don't want to lie to you. There's a scenario that could have happened. And I understood that it was up to me to train myself to not suffer injuries like that. That I wasn't a guy that was living inside my head. I was way better of a fighter up here than I was down here. I had to be honest with myself. Edwin, can you fight? I'm like, every man doesn't want to admit he can't fight, right? Every man got a little bit, I guess, machismo, but I was like, no, I think I could still fight. And, you know, I remember I put out that, let me talk about it now, that fake ass sparring. I'm glad I thought of this. I just want to let you guys know that the first sparring that I put on the TVB, right? That sparring right there, I was going at it with the guy. We didn't let the guy know. But just before I got in the ring, my coach Rocky said, Edwin, if you got one thing that you do good, don't show it here. Just mess around. This guy's about to punch you in the face because he's coming at you, but I want you to hit with him, Edwin, but don't show everything you are and be a little sloppy. I threw like that fake ass shot over the top on my sparring thing. And I was like, that look ugly. They're going to know it's fake. And my coach Rocky's like, bro, you're fighting an amateur fight. You think they're studying your footage? They're just going to go along with it. He was right. He was right because everybody thought that I was like throwing punches like this, not like the way I was throwing them when I was throwing them in the fight. And that's how I fight, you know? So it was all like mental things, mind games and shit. Yo, this whole event thing was like just it just like when you're in it in boxing, when you're in it, you all these things, that little things, I'm in your head and these mind games and stuff. And yeah, yeah, yeah. That sparring was like Laxy Daisy like a motherfucker for a reason. We didn't want to give anything. Yeah. And we weren't going to give anything, because you would have also found out that I had a problem with my gas tank, and everybody assumed it. Everybody knew that he's not going to be able to get off. 35 years on the couch, smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, blah, 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 drinking. This guy's not going to be able to pull this off. But, you know, and that's why I didn't want to show a lot, because Ness and these guys was too fucking, oh, look at he's gassing out in this. But you can see me as the weeks were going on and I was training outside in my yard and everything, that my stamina was getting better. I knew it was getting better and it was getting stronger. I just had to learn how to manage it. You know what I mean? How to manage it. And it was true. And what they were saying, like, he's gonna throw 8 punches and gas out. Had I threw 8 strong punches, hell yeah, I would have gassed out. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If I threw those punches with conviction in that first round, like I wanted to, there's no way I would have made it to the second round. I would have fucking gassed out. He'd have just been, they would have stopped the fight. I wouldn't have gave up, but I would have had to have shelled up. He would have punched me and they would have stopped the fight. That's probably what would have happened. Yeah, I had to fight like that. I had to throw punches like 45%, 50% type punches like that. Like just throwing them, pow, 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 pow. They look strong because I'm strong. But I'm telling you, when I get to cock back and be like, bro, if I knew I was gonna land just one of those, I would like to see how OC take one of my shots. That we haven't seen yet. I know I took his best shot. I want to see if he could take my best shot because I haven't hit him 80% shot yet. But the next fight, I'm gonna land one of them shots, bro. I'm gonna be better prepared, better, and I'm gonna hit him with one of mine. I'm gonna see how he does, So yeah. You do need a rematch. That fight was close than expected. A lot closer than expected, you know? Yo, what was the okay, well, Marcos was just there to fill in for guys that their coaches couldn't come. You know what I mean? Like that. Marcos has a coaching book or whatever, and he had the license or whatever, the proper um credentials to be in fighters' corners. So Marcos was in a bunch of fighters' corners that he never trained. Like me and Marcos, I never met Marcos on the street, except when I went to New York and I met him at the J. Paul and Tank Davis press conference in New York. Like I met him in line. I met Marcos there. But other than that, like Marcos is gonna what? Read me instructions that tell me to do what? He should have like paid attention to the fight and whatever he saw, he could have got in front of me and told me, look, you're doing this, this, and this. Maybe that could have helped me. But that's not what Marcos was doing. Marcos stood on the outside of the thing like this, where he was like he wasn't in my face. He wasn't like, like, come on, Edwin, like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like he I had to motivate myself. And then he basically waterboarded me in the corner. I was just giving him some shit, but to tell you the truth, I thank Marco for being in my corner because without him, I would have just been alone. Sometimes I thought about it, would I been worse off having him there, or I've been better off being alone, you know? But no, you need somebody there. You need somebody there for you and stuff. And I think coaching in my corner played its part in the third round. I needed my coach's instructions. I did. I needed somebody to tell me what was going on, what I didn't see through a different set of lenses. I think that that was crucial in the fight. Yeah. Now looking back at it, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Marco was just moral support. He wasn't even that. He wasn't even that. He wasn't even giving me no moral support. He wasn't like, yo, I went right at eye of the tiger, kid. Get in there and fucking jab him up, kid. You're doing phenomenal. Go downstairs to the body. He didn't do none of that shit. At least he could have said that. Bro, I thought Marcos was working for OC the boss with the water bottle. I sat down. I was like, yo, all right. He was like, I was, what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh my God. Like, he should have said, did something, bro. Fucking dude didn't do shit. I could have did a better fucking job. You know what I mean? Fucking, I motivated myself by myself. He should have been there for motivated. He didn't do none of that shit. That's why when Tuto interviewed me, Marcos came up behind me and he was acting out. He was going, he's like a little kid. He was like I was like, you're fucking fired. You know what I mean? You're fired, right? But no, 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 man. Look, guys. Real talk, man. I'm starting to see what I did. I'm starting to see what this means. You know, uh, I'm starting to like. see the 51 with what everybody else sees. Like, not being so hard on myself and shit. Like, yo, dude, you did pretty good, man. And I guess I did. I guess I did. And you know what I mean? Yeah, and I just wanted one and done because like my wife's sitting right here and she wants it to be one and done and everything. Uh and me, you know, uh how do I explain to her that I'm still having fun? You know what I mean? I don't want to hurt myself and I don't want to hurt anybody, but I still would like to compete. And as long as it's fair competition, people my age, things like that. And I'm not fighting like this fucking novice dude that's been doing this for the last 7 years and shit. And he's got like all these freaking trophies and stuff. Like that's not fair competition when you're just a way better than your contemporaries. Let's fight on an even playing field. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. So on my level, for my level of, you know, I just want to have fun. You know what I mean? So, yeah, look, man, like I said, I hope I inspired a couple of you guys. If anything, just train. So, I'm going to go back and train in the morning and shit. We're going to do some of that shit and we're just going to pop off round one sports talk and do my thing. I'm just going to play it by ear for now. I know that OC the boss is claiming he wants a rematch, but you know how that is. You know how they want the rematch, but yesterday he was like, whatever Ness says. I was like, bro, that doesn't sound like a dude that's taking a grab of his own future. Whatever Ness says, bro, you felt that right hand. And that was only 45% of that right hand, bro. Trust me, man. He know, OC know. He almost fucked up. He like this close. He almost fucked up. Take your little victory and run, bro. I don't care. But if we meet again, I will be better prepared. I will be better prepared. You know, um, I'm glad for this opportunity. My wife just looked at me real bad. I said, if we meet again, if baby, I love you. I love you. Yo, I'm about to get knocked out in the first round right here. All right, guys. uh, I'm about to get round one right now. You guys are gonna give me round one. You know what I mean? Listen, let me buy her some fluffy pajamas and fluffy slippers with the fluffy thing. She loves that and fluffy socks. And she'll love me and we'll talk about it again. I'm getting the rematch. Yeah, because you know what I'm saying. I put it down. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I put it. I put it down for the channel. For the channel. But in this house, my wife, she makes the calls. Whatever she says, that's what partially goes. You see. Hey, hey. All right. I'm not sleeping on the couch tonight. Fuck that shit. You know what I mean? Yo, I love you guys. Yo, you guys are the best. Peace. Can I talk to you, son? You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, fight fans. Love you guys. Peace.